Hey guys, it's Melissa here. I'm going to talk to you today about kindness and extending kindness to others. If you have ever been around someone who has a sharp tongue, let's use that expression, you know that sometimes words can be very biting. And it doesn't take much if you're having a so-so day. Being around somebody like this can zap every bit of your energy. In fact, I would call people like this energy vampires. They're not as obvious as other energy vampires, the people who complain all the time and just want you to listen to their problems. There's those kinds of energy vampires. But there's another type of energy vampire that is someone whose words are sharp. Some people like to think that being brutally honest is the best policy. And while there is some sort of merit in being honest with people, there's also a way to go about it. And of course, we're all raised differently. So if people were raised with a parent who had a very sharp tongue, they may tend to have one as well and think nothing of it. But if you're an empath and you're the type of person that deeply feels things that happen to you, coming across an individual like this can be very daunting, and it can leave you feeling extremely drained. I had an incident today in which I had to deal with someone who didn't come right out and say mean things. It was implied. And to me, that's as bad as coming right out and saying something negative. And it doesn't really matter what the discussion was about. I know that I was trying to see something from this person's perspective. At first, I totally did not see it from this person's perspective. And at first, I was being very stubborn and not wanting to see this from another perspective. But then I realized that this is another test from the universe. I am constantly being tested about things I still need to work on. And one of the things that I know that I have worked on, but obviously still need a little more work, is not reacting emotionally when things happen that don't go my way. In the past, I react I'm embarrassed at my reactions in the past, honestly, because my emotions would take over and all reason and logic would just go out the window because I couldn't see the forest past the trees. I couldn't see the big picture. I only saw the here and now and how you hurt me and you did this to me, and I would react. That was the old me. I've been trying now to not react when something happens that I wasn't expecting or I didn't want to happen. I've learned to try to stop and take a moment and say, what's this all about? And one of my mentors, Julia Treat, would say, isn't that interesting? You replace that immediate knee-jerk reaction with, isn't that interesting? And then ask yourself, what's this really about? And so that's what I did today. At first I started going right down that path that I did before where I just reacted emotionally. And then I thought, okay, wait a minute, this isn't getting me anywhere. So what is this really about? And so I realized, I need to try to see something from someone else's perspective. So that's what I did. I talked to this person and said, okay, what's this really about? And what are you thinking? What's in your head? How do you expect someone to react to what you said? What was your motive for saying that? What did you want to accomplish? And I tried really hard to see something from someone else's perspective. And ultimately, in the end, we just did not agree, which is fine. We don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree. But this other person, I felt, wasn't trying at all to see things from my perspective, and in fact threw in some things and said things that were a little hurtful and like low blows, what I would consider. And so I wanted to do this podcast about kindness, because when we think about kindness, we think about extending kindness in our everyday lives and, holding the door open for people and things like that, which is true. You do need to do that. That is part of it. But also a big part of it is kindness in your interactions with people when you don't agree. There are going to be times we don't agree with people. But I honestly feel like we have become a society where if I don't have the same opinion as you, I'm going to start attacking you. And you see it on social media all the time. If people don't agree politically, instead of just having a discussion, it becomes a heated thing where people then start calling each other names like snowflake, or worse, I've heard libtard, which is horrible. It's just all kinds of names people call each other. And what is that doing? It doesn't accomplish a damn thing. You're not going to change someone's point of view by calling them names. There are no facts and reasons there. And the thing is, you don't have to agree with someone else's opinion. It's your opinion for a reason. And it's the same way in an argument if you're dealing in a relationship, whether it be a personal relationship, a romantic relationship, whatever, or a business relationship. In the same way, you're not always going to agree. It would be wonderful if everyone agreed with each other all the time. Actually, it'd be pretty boring. But, you don't agree all the time. It just doesn't happen. So when you come to a place where you don't agree and you have to figure out some sort of compromise, choose kindness. Just choose kindness. And I'm telling you this, and you as the empath probably already do. And if you're like me, if you used to react emotionally, think about stopping and saying, isn't that interesting? And think about the big picture. What's this really about? And is this going to be worth ruining a friendship or whatever? Will it matter 6 months from now? Think about it that way. But it just came to me that we just need more kindness with one another. And today was a really tough day for me, because that whole discussion seriously went on like all day long, and it just totally drained me. And that's why I say, when you deal with people who aren't willing to look at things from your perspective, who aren't willing to choose kindness, and who immediately go to attack mode, those people are energy vampires too. Because I could feel my energy just going down, down, down. I spent the whole day yawning and feeling like I just wanted to crawl into bed, and I didn't want to do anything. In fact, I didn't even want to record this podcast. I just felt like I don't even know how I'm going to get through it, because I just have no energy. And it made me realize that this is another form of being around someone who's an energy vampire. And number one, we can't let people like that drain our energy. We can't allow them to. But number two, this was a lesson for me in how I would treat others and how I wanted to be treated. Like, I realize now that in the past, when I've behaved that way, I was depleting someone else's energy. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that person. And that's a big gut check moment, right? Like, that was me a few months ago, right? That was me. I was the same person who was doing the same thing, reacting emotionally and saying things that I didn't mean, that then I had to later take back. And being on the receiving end of that today was like a wake-up call. It was this is not who I am or who I want to be, and I am not going to allow anyone else to do this to me either. So in your interactions with people, check yourself. Are you looking at things from both perspectives, or are you only trying to see your side? And it is a two-way street. I mean, the other person should also be trying to see your perspective. But unfortunately, you're going to come across people who won't. But are you seeing theirs? Are you speaking the same language? Because when we aren't communicating well, it's like we don't even speak one another's language. We just are spewing words and it doesn't even mean anything because it's a total lack of communication. There's no understanding there, no comprehension. And so if we're choosing kindness, we're trying to bridge that gap in that communication. And I swear I was trying to do that today. And I even sought guidance from someone else. I explained the situation and I said, am I being, over the top, or am I not trying to be flexible, or, what do you think? And the person said, no, I think the other person's being very inflexible. And so an agreement was never reached. But I know that I did everything in my power to try to understand where this person was coming from. And I'm not going to continue to go back to something that drains my energy. Like, I have too many things to do. I mean, it had to be pretty bad for me to say, I don't even want to record a podcast. Like, that's how totally drained I felt after the day I had. And I am never going to give anyone that much power over myself again, because no one has that right. But I am going to continue to try to practice kindness, because I know it was the right thing to do. And the fact that when I did that, this person did not, tells me everything I need to know about that person's character. And that's okay. That's all right. We, in up-leveling, will find ourselves around people that don't belong in our circle. And that's okay. We have to learn to let people go if they don't serve us. And we can't feel bad about it, because it's either let that person go or spend all of my days feeling like this and nothing would get accomplished, because I would just want to go crawl in bed every day. And I can't live my life that way. So I hope that you're extending kindness and trying to see things from other people's perspectives when you have disagreements. But also know that if you're dealing with someone who isn't going to try to do the same and is just an energy vampire, and you can feel your energy being depleted, walk away for your own sake. If you can. I know sometimes it's family members. You can still limit the time that you have to be around that person. And I don't think that you should feel guilty at all if you are doing what's in your best interest, because of the people that care will change their behavior around you, and the people that don't won't. It's just that simple. All right. Well, I am sorry for the kind of Debbie Downer podcast today, but man, my energy is just, I need to go listen to some uplifting music and do some meditations and clear my energy, do something, because that was just a rough day. All right, I wanted to pull a couple of cards for you before I go. So I chose the Kuan Yin Oracle deck by Alana Fairchild. The first card I pulled for you is the Shining Lotus. It says, there are times when it makes sense to be discreet until you find your inner strength, so that you feel empowered enough to share your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs without wavering, even in the face of challenge. At other times, we are ready to take a risk and allow the inner lotus blossom of our true self to shine forth for all to behold. So, some of you, it's time for you to find your inner strength and to share your thoughts and beliefs with others without wavering. I talked about how you are a light for others, and some people need your light. You know, a few months ago, I would have been too afraid to even mention to other people that there was this podcast that I listened to that changed my life. Yeah, I kept it to myself. And little by little, more and more things have become public, right? I tell people, oh, I listened to this podcast. Oh, I did this spiritual boot camp. Oh, I took this Reiki course. Oh, and I have a podcast now. And oh, now I have this website. And now I have this business. And, you know, at first I kind of wanted to shrink away and shy away from that because I didn't want people judging me. And now I'm at a place where it doesn't matter. I don't care. The only person I need to really care about impressing is myself. And I don't really care what anyone else thinks. And that's a totally awesome feeling to not care. And I thought about something I heard on a YouTube video the other day, which I thought was such a cool idea and a cool thing. Before I went on this transformation, I was a people pleaser. I had to make everyone happy, and everyone was happy but me. And I'm sure some of you could relate. And especially in the last relationship I had, I was trying to constantly make sure that this person was happy and needs were met, and he wasn't. It did the opposite. And so what I heard about doing on this particular episode on this YouTube video was to envision a gold ball of light above your head and to call back any energy that you've put out there of people needing to accept you. And I thought that was so awesome. It's like, yeah, what a great way. It's like taking back your personal power. So you envision this golden ball of light above your head and you call back that energy. Just imagine all this energy, and you can imagine the energy as like a white haze, like smoke coming back, or you can envision it as a light. However you see it, you are calling back that energy that you've sent out, that people had to like you, that people had to accept you. You're calling it back. And so in a way, it's like taking back your personal power. And what a cool thing that is. I love that. So try doing that. All right, your second card was Dance of the Butterfly Queen. It says, a pure heart attracts divine grace, and that which was impossible becomes possible. From caterpillar to winged creature of delight, you cannot restrain what divine grace ordains, no matter how incredible it may seem to be. Whatever has been troubling you, or whatever has been inspiring you, allow grace to infuse the situation or dream so that it may unfold with divine perfection. So I love that. And that may have been a personal message to myself that the thing that I was going through today, I just need to step back and allow grace to infuse the situation. And that's what I'm doing. You know, I stepped back and I said, okay, I'm not going to continue to argue or discuss because it's not getting us anywhere. And I'm just going to step back and allow the situation to unfold as it will. I'm letting go of the need to control what happens in this situation and know that it's going to work out the way it is supposed to. So if you have any situations in your life, whether it's something that's troubling you, or if you just have a dream that you want to see unfold and it's just not happening for you the way that you think it should, just let go. Let go of control. Let go of the need to control the situation. Let go and let God. Let God's grace infuse your situation and allow it to unfold in the divine timing that it was meant to. because I absolutely believe that everything happens for a reason. It's either a lesson or a blessing, and sometimes both. It's happening to you for some reason. You're waiting for some reason. In a lot of ways, it's like we have these huge dreams and we ask for them, and it's the universe saying to us, are you sure you're ready? Are you sure you're ready? And so the universe tests us to make sure that we are. And sometimes we pass those lessons and sometimes we don't. And it's the universe saying, okay, you still have a little bit more to learn, but you're almost there. So don't quit. Don't give up. It's right there. And I truly believe that for many of you, your blessings are close. They're right there. We just have a few more things to learn. Today was something else I had to learn. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn it. Even if during the time it was difficult, it's still a blessing because it's going to cause my growth to accelerate, and it's going to help me in the future when dealing in similar situations. I know now what not to do. So I feel like today's podcast was a little bit all over the place, but sometimes that happens when the divine is just speaking through me. It's like I start off in one direction and totally head somewhere else. But I think that somebody needed to hear that today. And I hope that whoever it is, just know that whatever situation you're going through, it's going to work out the way that it's meant to. Even if it's not the way that you expected it to or wanted it to, it's still working out in your favor. The universe still has your back. Don't give up. All right, guys. I want to thank you for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, follow me, all of those wonderful things. Leave reviews. If you want to sign up for my 5-day self-love challenge, you can still sign up. It's 5 days of emails. So you get an email every day for 5 days with tools teaching you how to get rid of self-doubt, increasing your self-esteem, self-love. Check it out on my website too. I also have a free morning and evening meditation if you subscribe to my website. And I am not one of those people that once you subscribe, I start bombarding you with emails. I don't. The people who have subscribed, I think I maybe sent you one email. So I'm not that person. I don't like that when people do that to me. So when you subscribe, you're just going to get my free morning and evening meditation. If you subscribe to the 5-day self-love challenge, you're just going to get my email a day for 5 days. And then once the 5 days are over, that's all you'll get from me, unless I just want to get some news about something new on my website, but that doesn't happen that often. If you're interested in my meditations, they're for sale on my website. You can download them. I have a chakra healing meditation and a tranquility garden meditation, which is to help you relieve stress, to detoxify and just relax. You can either do it before bed or just when you want to relieve some stress during the day. Coming soon, I will have a healing meditation. Someone asked me to do a healing meditation, so I'm going to do that. If there's something you would like to see, please let me know. Please contact me. You can email me. You can message me through Facebook. I love hearing from you, and anything that you need from me or would like to see from me or hear, anything at all, just send me a message. I love hearing from you, and if there's a podcast idea or a meditation that you would like, let me know. I would love to do the things that I know you guys want to see. So let me know. Check out my website if you're interested in Reiki readings or one-on-one coaching. Don't forget to check out my Facebook Lives on Tuesdays at 7. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.